Hey guys, welcome to part 1 on how to move out. So, I had to check to make sure I wasn't unmuted in the VC. Okay, let me turn this shit down real quick. Heard someone breathing in the VC, so I was like, yo, let me just... Okay. This is first. How old are you? If you are over the age of 18, everything will become much easier. However, even if you are over the age of 18, you may not be considered a legal adult in some states. In Nebraska, for example, the legal age is 19. In Mississippi, the legal age is 21. In Kansas, the legal age for an adult is 16 if you're married. You'll need your parents or a court's permission to get married, by the way. So, don't let this catch you off guard though. You may think you are legally an adult, and a vindicative parent might use this to their advantage. Number 2, you'll need a mailing address. It's pretty important. You want your mail to be safe from interception, even if you are home most of the time. Even if you are the first person to check the mail, the odds are that the one time your parent checks the mail is when you are expecting that one vital letter. You need your own mailbox. I mean, unless you show up living with your parents, but like, this is for people who want to move out immediately. I mean, like as in like you know, if they're trying to, you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. I hope I don't have to explain this. You can ask a friend. The easiest way to get your own mailbox is to ask a friend to receive your mail for you. It's a quick and cheap method. However, you must trust your friends. Mail addressed to your home will still come to your home. This might be a problem. It is possible to reroute that mail with a USPS change of address form. You can fill out this form online if you have a valid credit card in your name. If you don't have a credit card, this form will give you the chance to print it out and bring it to the post office. Or you can go to the post office and ask for a mover's guide change of address form. It should come in a pamphlet. You will need a valid photo ID to fill this out. General delivery. The next easiest method of avoiding having mail sent to your home is to insist that it be delivered in your name to a general delivery. What this means is that the mail is sent to your name under a general delivery address, which leads to a post office somewhere in your city or county. There is a specific post office law that provides for mail to be sent to your name as general delivery. This mail is held for 30 days until you pick it up, which one comes first. You can tell the post office to hold it for a shorter period of time, by the way. And what's behind me is like stuff you might want to get when you move out. But you can also go to Craigslist, because Craigslist has some free stuff that you might want to pick up. So, if you don't feel like buying any of these, go to Craigslist, but this is just a list of what I think you might need. Here's some ingredients behind me, but here's a list of what I think you might need in your first apartment or something. Anyway, now this website is called FamilySearch.org, and well, wait, I forgot what this is for. Shit. Hold on, let me think about it. I forgot, dude. Oh yeah, okay, I remember. So this is for if you want to get married. Some shit. I think. I forgot. But anyway. And here's Craigslist.org. I can pull it up. See, that's the website. Don't look at my extensions. I use that shit for the parishes for my Spanish learning, bro. Anyway, so you see, if you're too broke to buy anything on that list, you can pick up some stuff from Craigslist, like some stuff people wanna like people don't want no more, like this sofa, you know, or something, or this like this cabin, this storage. Yeah, like if you're too broke, bro, and you don't want to spend money on some things, you could go on Craigslist and look and see what they have. And here's the USPS change of address. You can just search that shit up on Google, but I'm just showing you what it would look like, in case you click on the wrong link or something, because I know little kids be doing that. I mean, adults be doing that too, honestly. I've seen adults do that, click on the wrong link and stuff. So here's how it's supposed to look. So yeah, this is the United States Postal Office. I think it says something about some post office law about general delivery. If you want to read up on it, you know, get extra details. Some specific law for post office. Like, my shit is translated into Spanish because I use a browser extension to passively read some words in Spanish to learn Spanish. So if you see any Spanish text on the screen, that's why. Anyway, now there's only certain post offices can be used for a general delivery address. Talk to your nearest post office to find out which ones do and which are the most convenient for you to get to. I mean, by the way, this is for if you're sleeping over at a friend's house and you don't want to have them receive mail there, because, you know, if you're renting somewhere, I think the landlord will let you receive mail in their property, I think. Now this is the format you must follow for general delivery. So anyone who sends you mail must follow this format. I mean, conform to this method. But yeah, this is the format. Okay, so I just sat on my foot, so now my foot fell asleep, but the downside is a lot of companies will refuse to send mail to a general delivery address, or will do so for only a given amount of time. Utility services, some banks, and others may refuse. Some or many employers will not wish to hire you if you only have a general delivery address. Rent a post office box. There are several ways to rent a post office box, but according to federal law, to rent any mailbox from anyone, you must present 2 forms of acceptable identification, which is at least one ID and one photo. Yeah, no. Fuck, I messed up. At least one ID that must be a photo ID. Okay? So, an acceptable photo ID would be a valid driver's license or state non-driver's identification card, armed forces, government, university, or recognized corporate identification card, passport card, alien registration card, certificate of naturalization. An acceptable non-photo ID would be a current lease, mortgage, or deed of trust, photo or vehicle registration card, home or vehicle insurance policy. Now, an unacceptable ID would be a social security card, a birth certificate, a high school ID, tax returns, utility bill, credit card. Now, the types of post office. So, there's the virtual post office or remailer service. This sort of post office box will accept incoming mail in your name and will either remail it to a new address or will scan it and allow you to read a mail online from a high quality scan. It also allows you to mix these up. You can have mail scanned and uploaded, then forwarded, or you can have it held until you stop by and pick it up. These services tend to be pricey, but if you can afford them, and if they are conveniently located, then they are pretty good. I don't need to remind you that they are actually opening your mail, so be careful about what you are receiving since there is some loss of privacy. You can find these sorts of services by doing an internet search on the keywords virtual mailbox. Now, the next option is USPS, of course. The United States Postal Office will be happy to rent you a mailbox. And a small mailbox is inexpensive too, but beware of their limitations. UPS and FedEx will usually not deliver to a P.O. box, and a lot of companies don't like to deal with P.O. boxes either. A P.O. box may limit your employment options since it doesn't look like you have a real address. Having said this, some USPS locations offer a street addressing service where the post office gives your P.O. box a real street address. You will have to check with your post office to see if this is offered, and you will also want to ask what restrictions are still valid in a street address. Street address. Now, the third way you could receive mail is to use a private mailbox rental or commercial mail receiving agency, as you can see here. And these are those places you see in strip malls. They might sell small gifts and services. They go by names like pack and ship or mailboxes, etc. The quality of these businesses varies. Some are very good and reliable. Others tend to disappear quickly. That's because they may be privately owned instead of being owned by a chain and can go out of business due to poor business practices. These are definitely buyer beware, and the services they offer may vary widely. Okay. Now, there's also the UPS store, and when you rent with the UPS store, they give you a PNB number, a private mailbox at the end of the UPS store address, but you are not required to use PNB as part of your address. You can just use hashtag instead, like the hashtag on your keyboard, or pound. Whichever way you say it, because there's like, people say it two ways. They either say hashtag or they either say pound. So, yeah. Now, we're going to talk about vital documents, how to get them, how to replace them. So first, let's talk about how to replace vital documents that may be missing, stolen, or held hostage from you. So, this website, you can look here, you can look through if you want, but I'm just gonna give you a brief overview in case you don't go through this website. You're just watching this video instead of actually going on the website. But yeah, USA.gov is our official government website. Well, oh yeah, by the way, this video I'm making, it's for United States people only, okay? United States only. Anyway, forgot to say that in the beginning of the video. So give yourself some time to get these documents. The wheels of bureaucracy grind slow and grind fine. Don't expect anything to be rushed unless it is offered as a rush for extra fee. For example, you could get a passport more quickly, but it will cost extra. Now, state-issued photo ID. To get a driver's license or a non-driver's identification card from the state you live in, you will most likely need your original certified copy of your birth certificate, your social security card. Some states will allow you to just give your social security number. Check with the DMV in your state. You will likely be required to take a photograph and will need to give a thumbprint. If you are over the age of 16, you probably won't need a parent's approval. Check with the laws of your state to be sure. And other photo IDs like college and university student photo IDs are usually accepted as valid photo ID. If you're already in college, take advantage of this. Also, a corporate photo ID is often except it has a valid ID. These are usually printed on PVC plastic cards and worn on a lanyard or clipped to your clothing. With today's heightened security environment, it's quite possible to get one of these forms of identification even in the service industry. Okay, also there's your passport. Weirdly, it's easy to get a passport of your own when you're over the age of 16. If you have a birth certificate and a photo ID, you can apply for a passport by yourself at the age of 16 or older. And show you a website real quick. So yeah, here's the site. You can read it yourself. Passport is a very good identification. If you do not have a photo ID, you can ask a parent to assist you in getting a passport. If this works, you can use the passport to help you get other required identifications such as a state-issued ID. By the way, be careful about asking a narcissistic parent to help you get a passport. They could instead inform the State Department that they do not want you to get a passport. And if they do this, it will block you from getting a passport until you reach the age of 18. Just extra tip. Okay, now moving on. Non-photo IDs. You probably don't have a lease or mortgage. And if you're under 18, you also don't have a voter registration card. This leaves you with a choice of vehicle registration card and vehicle insurance. If you are over the age of 18, you should register to vote. Depending on the state you live in, registering to vote may be easy or difficult. Registration and voting may require a photo ID in many states. However, in some states, it's very easy to register to vote. And this simplifies getting a non-photo ID. Here's voter identification laws by state from Ballotpedia. If you want to search it up and read some of these, but here you go. You just scroll and see and show you what's up. Scroll on this page. But yeah, if you want to know more, search up Ballotpedia. Now, vehicle registration. So you could ask your grandfather to sign their old car into your name. You know, like you can. I mean, even if it doesn't run, you can use that vehicle registration paper for identification purposes. And if you can afford it, buy a used car for cheap. If it's in your name registered to you, then you have a valid non-photo ID. Now, bank accounts. Ah, yes, bank account. Most banks won't even look at you without at least 2 forms of ID. Also, if you are under the age of 18 in America, oh yeah, I made another video on bank accounts for like people under 18. Sole ownership or ideas around sole ownership. Like, what was it? Bank of America actually has a sole ownership bank account for 16 plus people. So you can watch that video and make your own decisions depending on like your own knowledge. But yeah, you can watch that other video I made of bank accounts for people under 18, sole ownership, or like at least some ideas to store your cash. But Bank of America, just saying, Bank of America is one. Even though, I gotta say, Bank of America is a shitty bank, in my opinion. So once you reach 18, just transfer your funds to like Ally Bank. Because I don't fuck with that shit. Unless I need to. You know? So Bank of America, you know, you could just have that bank account for now and transfer it when you're 18. Cause bank accounts kind of dog shit to me, bro. But like, you know, the good banking services, bro. I checked, and I've asked LA Bank customer support if they allow people under 18 to open a sole ownership account, and they were like, no. So you have to do joint ownership if you wanna do LA Bank or something. you know, because like most of the time, most banks are gonna say joint ownership, which is why I made a video on sole ownership. Anyway, now Visa gift cards. These are basically credit card with a fixed limit on them. They can't be reloaded. When they run out of money, they're done. However, you can purchase them anywhere, almost anywhere for cash, and you can use them to purchase goods and services online. I need water. Never mind, I don't. No. Get a Visa gift card for yourself to purchase useful online services. Now, Visa prepaid cards. These are cards that come with a sort of quote-unquote, I'm putting quotes around this, quotes, a sort of quote-unquote bank account. Depending on the card, you may be able to direct deposit your paycheck into the card's account. That's what I mean by quotes, because it's not actually a bank account. You can usually find these cards being sold in the same places that Visa gift cards are sold. Some vendors require identification in order to purchase one of the cards, others may not. It is always good to read all the information on the package before you purchase the card to see what's required to activate the card. This may be a good choice if you only have one form of identification, since the cards may have a decreased identification request. However, depending on the card vendor, the card type, and the state, you may need the same information that a bank would require, but you may not need a parent or guardian to co-sign. There are a lot of different types of prepaid credit card, and for many Americans with poor or no credit, they are their primary quote-unquote bank account. Some prepaid card companies have extra fees and are somewhat predatory, so watch out for that. Remember, just because it says Visa on the card doesn't mean that the card is managed by Visa. Yeah, make sure to highlight that in your mind. Make sure to highlight that in your mind. Remember what I just said. Only that the card works on the Visa network. It's not actually managed. It doesn't mean it's managed by Visa. Now I'm going to show you. Now you can start doing some research on prepaid cards here if you want. This is creditcards.com if you want to know more. Online bank accounts. Online bank accounts are, I fuck with Ally Bank, bro. Ally Bank is the OG motherfucker. Anyway, online bank accounts. An online bank account can be signed up for without ever leaving your home. However, it is an official bank account, so you will still need proper forms of identification, and in America you need to be 18. Now this is yeah, you can't do the fucking under 18 shit with this one because it's online, bro. Anyway, again, there are lots of different online banks. If y'all actually find some online bank that allows under 18 people, I'll be like, bruh, because I haven't seen any, bro. If like all my solutions I've included in my sole ownership bank accounts for under 18 video, and I haven't found any actual like online banks, So anyway, what was I saying? Forgot. Yeah, so you'll need to do your research. You can find good information about online banks at, let me show you the websites. This is fool.com, FOOL.com, and you can find some information about online banks here. You can also go to NerdWallet. Let me show you. Here's NerdWallet. You can also go here to figure out, some good shit about bank accounts and stuff. So yeah, check these sites out. And there are also banks and credit unions. Given the choice, most people, in my opinion, most people would choose a credit union over a bank because they usually have fewer fees, fewer confusing rules, and are in general friendlier. Well, banks are useful if you are well established and have a mortgage. You will need to be over 18 with identification or under 18 with a parent to open one of these. So yeah. Like you can open you can go open an account at many bank accounts. But you need a parent for most of them. And the bank account will not be fully yours because it will be a joint bank account instead of a sole ownership. Just keep that in mind. Don't forget to check your home for important documents. Your parents probably have lots of documents that you will need, and if you can get to them, take advantage of that. Anyway, now store vital documents somewhere where you can get them. If your parents are really bad people. If your parents are really bad people, bro, you can rent a safe deposit box to store your documents. I'm making this video from the point of view for everyone, as in everyone, even people from abusive families, bro. I'm making this video for everyone. So if you're wondering why I keep suggesting some weird shit like having a general delivery address and stuff like that, that's because you never know, someone might need to couch surf, because they got kicked out of their house or something. So that's why I mentioned these things. Okay, so safe deposit boxes are surprisingly cheap, especially if you use a credit union. I have a safe deposit box that is perfect for these sort of documents. And I'm not gonna suggest what. I said some dumb shit. There's also a diversion safe. It's a way of hiding things in your house or room in a way that doesn't look suspicious. Now I'll switch it up for you. Yeah, you can find some diversion safes on Amazon, some of these, that you can hide stuff in. But yeah, here's just some examples. Anyway, if you fear a search of your things, or a room or house, and can't store your documents at a bank, a temporary solution may be able to encase your documents safely and bury them. You will need to be concerned about moisture, fire, and discovery. This is dangerous unless you take proper precautions. Now here's some people who would explain how to do this. This is how to bury your valuables.wordpress.com. It's HOWTOBURYYOURVALUABLES.wordpress.com. But yeah, here's a quick overview. Anyway, next topic is with a friend. So if you store your documents with a friend that you do, I recommend that you put it inside of a locked container. Simple locking boxes are available at Amazon for less than $20. You can also find one at your local thrift store or Army/Navy surplus. Army/Navy surplus. An ammo can with a lock on it makes a fist. And I recommend that you put documents inside a Ziploc bag and then inside another. It's a good idea to have some desiccant in the bag. And here's desiccant on Amazon. Okay. You can also you can also store them digitally with the cost of flash/USB drives. So you can use like flash and USB drives, especially since the cost of them are plummeting because people use cloud storage now, like storing things on Google Drive and stuff. Any document that you can scan, print out, and use the printed copy should be stored digitally. So make a backup on a USB drive or SD card. Keep the backup in the same safe place you are keeping your other documents. You can also mail them if you're getting close to leaving home and you have your new mailing address set up. You may decide that it makes sense to drop your documents into a mailer and send them to yourself. The USPS and most mailbox rentals will keep your mail for 30 days before returning it to a sender. This is a temporary solution, but it could be useful if you want to make sure your documents are safe and not on you. Now, finding a place to live and work. So, let me just pull up some real quick. So, you can search up Job Corps. Still legit here. Let me just... Here's the explanation on Wikipedia. Ignore my practice Spanish notification. And anyway, so Job Corps is a program administered by the United States Department of Labor that offers free of charge education and vocational training to young men and women ages 16 to 24. If you're interested in that. There's also here's what the Job Corps website look like. And where was it? I don't know. I forgot how to look for trades. Or something like, it's right here, I believe. Let me just, hold up. I'll show you when I find it. But yeah, here are some of the trades I have listed here. And, these are by different things. Let me just scroll through. These are what they train you to do. Yeah. Now, there's also the United States military, and it's not a choice for everyone, but for some, it makes perfect sense, So, yeah, let me show you that website. This is military.com, if you want to know more. Yeah. Now, there's also non-military national service. There are several different service organizations that assist young people in serving America. This allows them... I don't know why the fucking America song just started playing in my head, bro. And I was like, I had to pause a little bit. But anyway, this allows them to receive a paycheck while learning a skill and helping others. There are several you may find at the National Service website, which I think it's this one. I think it's AmeriCorps. I think. And there's also Peace Corps. And this wait, what was this? Why did I have this tab open? I forgot. Okay, anyway, next. Oh yeah, that's right. Religious service. So, larger churches sometimes hire those people who are in need. You can't find a job on the website, but you might be able to network for a job. There's also college. So hopefully away from home and living in dorms. This often comes with parental assistance, and if you can do this, take advantage of it. What was I saying? Ding. Oh yeah, it means I mean, if you can avoid your narcissistic parents while you're going to school, that's good. Right. Anyway, now let me show you another. Now, there are colleges overseas where Americans can study for free or cheap. Lots of them allow you to take classes in English. Now, student loans. So here's the FAFSA website if you want to get started. It's studentaid.gov. Studentaid.gov/h/apply for aid/FAFSA. Now, anyway, let me show you something else. So remember, a parent who takes out a Direct Plus loan is forbidden by law to transfer that loan to their child. Here's something if you want to read it. Okay, what it's about. Here's, if you don't know what Direct Loan Plus loans are, here's something to read. And even if your parents refuse to pay for your education, you should still fill out the FAFSA to see about other financial aid. There are other ways. Parental refusal of a loan does not mean that your education is denied. And here's a website if you wanna read up on it, how to deal if your parents won't pay. Fastweb.com. It's an article. Now, finding a place to live. If you're leaving home, you need a new place to live. And if you are not joining some education, why did I say education? Yeah, hold on, let me drink some water. It's been like 36 minutes and I've been just talking non-stop. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Okay, what was I saying? Finding a place to live. If you're leaving home, you need a new place to live. And if you're not joining some organization, see, I accidentally said education, but I meant organization, who will give you a free room and board, then it's up to you to come up with this. And some options are couch surfing. It's the best, it's at best, ATBST. Anyway, at best, a temporary solution for emergency condition. This is where a kindly friend or family member allows you to sleep and live at their house for a time until you can get on your own feet. The best part is that it's free, at least financially. You may be asked to help with the chores, and you will probably owe your host a huge favor, which could be called in at a later time. The worst part of couch surfing is that it is temporary. You should not stay at someone's place for longer than 2 weeks. Yes, your host may tell you that it's okay for you to stay longer, but after 2 weeks, you are likely to start building some level of resentment that will hurt your relationship. Stay longer only if you have no other choice, but be sure that you do have no other choice. Don't forget to be humble and grateful and thanks and praise for their generosity. A very sincere thank you goes a long way. Now, there's also the option of networking to find a place to live. Lots of homeowners have additions to their homes. This might be a mother-in-law house, a garage apartment, quote unquote, by the way, quote unquote mother-in-law, quote unquote apartment. That there's quotes around it, or some sort of other quote unquote secondary suit. Okay, this is what I mean. You may find this sort of accommodation by talking to friends and family and asking if anyone has such a place. Owners who are willing to rent these places will frequently not require an extensive credit check or rental history and will instead rent on reputation. This is why networking is so important. The person connecting you to this opportunity is also speaking for your reputation. Do not make this person a liar. Your reputation at this point is valuable, so treat it like money. Don't waste it. Do insist on a rental contract. Even if the owner is willing to rent to you casually, a good rental contract protects both of you. You can find rental contracts online yearly by searching for that term. As a possible bonus, some owners are willing to charge less rent in exchange for services. These services may include taking out trash, yard work, and just being a pack mule, quote-unquote pack mule. In general, whenever the owner needs something heavily moved, this is more likely if an owner is older and needs extra help. As a victim of a narcissist, you should also be aware that this living arrangement may put you back with another narcissist, the homeowner. Again, this is another reason why you need a good rental contract to protect you both. But if the situation really deteriorates, you may need to be ready to leave. Now, renting a place with roommates. If you live in a college town or anywhere near a college, you can often find good deals on accommodations if you go together with a roommate or a few roommates. A good way to find these deals is to go into your local college campus and look for roommate advertisements posted on public socks on campus. You can also check your social medias and stuff. I think people post that shit on social media now. You can also check the campus newspaper or go on social media for, because I'm pretty sure you can find that shit. You can also find potential roommates in your local advertisements, like Craigslist. The possible results from having roommates are extremely variable. You could have great results, or you could have roommates from hell. Terrible roommates will have no consideration for sleeping periods, will make too much noise, will refuse to clean up after themselves, will help themselves to your food and belongings, and may even refuse to pay their share of rent. Getting a bad roommate out is a very difficult thing. 1 second. And if your name is on the list, you may not even have the option of leaving yourself. So it is very important to consider your roommates, and if they are smart, they will be wary of you too. Be very cautious. Also be wary of your privacy. If you have a computer or a smartphone or other digital device, make sure you set it to lock whenever you're not using it. And since theft is also a possibility, take the time to take photographs of everything you own, along with serial numbers and model numbers. Mark your expensive items with a permanent marker or engraver. I suggest you mark everything with the first 3 letters of your name, plus the last 4 digits of your social security number. Make sure you photograph this mark. If a thief tries to hide a mark in some way, a photograph will make this attempt obvious. Renting your own apartment. Depending on your situation, this could be an expensive option. In some locations, the average rental cost will astonish you. Don't try to rent in downtown San Francisco. Instead, examine the area and determine if perhaps there is something somewhere further away where rents are cheaper, but accommodations are still convenient to your work and life. Also remember that areas with cheaper rents often have higher crime. You should examine the crime in those areas to see how scary they are. So, some general guidelines for renting an apartment. Do not pay more than 30% of your pre-tax income for rent. This is combined income, quote-unquote. If you include you and another person, it also works. For example, if you're a part-timer at a McDonald's and you make $18,000 a year, you can afford $5,400 of rent per year, or $450 a month. What did I say a day? $450 a month. An easy way to figure out your maximum monthly rent is to divide your yearly income by 40. So, like, if you 18,000 divided by 40 equals 450. How to check a neighborhood for crime. It is best to check out the neighborhood in person. Take a look at it. Are there trash on the streets? Are there broken down cars? Broken windows? What are the stores in the area like? Are the stores geared towards individuals or geared towards families? Check out free online crime mapping tools. Let me show you one. So this is spotcrime.com, and you can use this to find and see like crimes in your area, like crime mapping, to see which area has more crime and stuff. Next, get renter's insurance. If you already have auto insurance, your insurance company may be able to add renter's insurance for cheap. Actually, I don't know how much it is per month. Or you can find renter's insurance by searching the term renter's insurance quote. Do not spend more than $20 a month on renter's insurance. Expect to pay between $10 to $15 unless you live in a high insurance area. Renter's insurance will replace lost, stolen, or damaged items in your apartment. It will assist you in repairing those items that went wrong that you are responsible for. Renter's insurance will often replace things that were stolen while you are away from home. For example, when you get your bike stolen, the renter's insurance can replace it. Create an inventory of everything you own. If something is lost, stolen, or damaged, then you need to document it on the police reports. And with your insurance, it is better to have this information available to you than to have to try to remember what you have. There are free online applications that are offered to help you create a home inventory. Take advantage of them. Let me show you one. Just search it up, honestly. Or you could just, you could just literally take a picture of it and upload it to Google Drive, but you know what, whatever. Okay, make it a habit to photograph every new item that you purchase that is expensive or important to you. Take a photo of the receipt, photograph the item itself. If the model and serial number is on the item, take a photograph of that too. Take a few moments to find and download the owner's manual for that item too. Go through all the items you already own and photograph the item and the model/serial number. Make a note of when you purchased or received the item and how much it cost. If you do not know the cost, look it up online and take a screenshot of the item's cost. Add that to your inventory. Jewelry is a little more difficult. Photograph it all and list any identifying marks that may be difficult to discern in a photograph. For very expensive jewelry, it may be best to get it professionally appraised, then keep that appraisal in your records as a digital copy. Back up your inventory. If you use an online inventory application, they should have a process where you download. I had to rub my eye a little bit. Oh yeah, where you can download your whole inventory. Do so. If you are creating your own inventory, you can then save a copy to a USB drive and keep that drive in a safe place along with your other important documents. Read your rental contract. Do not ever let a landlord rush you into signing a lease. Anyone who tries to rush you into a decision is hard selling you. Quote unquote hard selling. But anyone who tries to rush you into a decision is hard selling you. Perhaps they are being honest, but it is more likely that they do not want you to think too long or look too hard. If you find yourself in a hard sell situation, walk away. If it is a good deal, it will continue to be a good deal even after you sleep on it. You are allowed to make changes to the rental contract if you don't agree with the terms. This is called amending a contract. You do this by clearly crossing out or lining through the text that you do not agree with, and then initialing. You can also add to the contract by neatly writing your own text into the contract, then initialing that. Be careful to be clear about what you are adding. Think it through and examine your words to see if they might imply something else. Initial the added text. If the rental manager agrees with your changes, they will sign the contract and your changes will apply. Now, how long is your rental agreement? Is it a 1-year lease? What are the penalties for breaking it? What else is specified in your rental agreement? You may want to ask to clarify certain terms. For example, painting an apartment may fall under the heading of tenant has damaged the apartment and must be fixed or be charged. Some agreements stipulate that everything is to be returned to the state it was in when you moved in. Other stipulations include pets, type, size, number, waterbeds, aquariums, trash disposal, guests. Okay, I think I left off on trash disposal, guests, parking spaces, and quiet hours. Try to see it from an owner's perspective. They are taking a risk on an unknown person and are trying to minimize their chances of being burned. Renters' rights. At the same time as a tenant, you have rights. There are federal laws that protect renters. And let me pull that shit up. So go to this page if you want to read more. Here, this is hud.gov/program offices/fair housing equal op/online complaints. If you wanna, yeah. And there are state laws that protect renters. It is always a good idea to search for your state tenant, your tenant's rights. Do this before moving in and make sure you search for your state. Finding a job. This is probably the hardest thing you can do in today's economy. However, the device for first or second job hunting hasn't changed much in a long time. I think you could learn more here, but I'm not sure. Anyway, a word on online applications. Online employment applications are keyword-based. After you spend half an hour filling out the online application, you may not get a response back because you lack the correct keywords in your application. Try to figure out the various multiple keywords that indicate your skills and abilities and include those words in your online application responses. No first job is permanent, and they are rarely perfect. Don't try to find the right job, quote-unquote, and instead get the job that will work right now. Use this as a stepping stone for better jobs, gain experience, career development. So, it's designed checklist. This checklist is designed for people who are trying to get out of a bad situation quickly. As such, the only career development paths listed so far are national service, religious service, and college. However, there may be another path. Lots of employers are willing to invest in their workers. While interviewing, find out if your potential employer has job training or pays for college. This is always something to keep your eye open for. Free training. You would not believe how much free training is available for you online, from project management to programming. The list seems endless. You may not be able to get a degree, but you can often get a certification. Certifications cost money and require that you pass the test and have many other requirements. But these are things that you can study on your own time. Search for a free online training to start. Free online training. You can search that if you want. What are you worth? If you have no skills, no training, no experience, and mediocre grades, then you will be worth very little to your employer. All of your worth to an employer will be what they train you to do. You will have to make yourself seem trainable, and you should do something that makes you stand out. If you have time before you have to leave home, you can improve your worth by studying an online course of some sort. For example, if you are applying in retail, you might improve your chances by downloading and studying the point-of-sale cashier certification course. There is a certification that goes with this course, and you can afford it. If you can afford it, you should certainly be certified. So now, apartment living. finding an apartment. The ease of finding an apartment depends on demand and supply. Apartment availability depends on things like the season of the year, the city, the local ordinances that control what is built, and what apartment owners think the local demand is going to be. It is difficult to find a good apartment in a city with a housing shortage. It is often easier to find an apartment near a college or university during summer months. In general, families try to move into or out of apartments when school is out so their kids can complete a school year. People also tend to move out when they lose their jobs and find a new job elsewhere. This could happen in areas where a large business closes. College students move out of apartments when they graduate or leave school at the end of the semester. Apartments near colleges or universities see vacancies in the spring and around Christmas. Since many vacancies are tied to school, the best time to start apartment hunting may be in the spring or summer. When you check an apartment complex, don't just ask if they have vacancies. Ask if they have upcoming vacancies. Managers know when people are planning to move out and would love to have a qualified renter to slip into that vacancy as soon as it happens. Apartment rents are tied to the local economy. A cheap apartment means the local economy can't support more expensive apartments. This might mean that there are few good-paying jobs in the area. Online tools. First, you can get a lot of information about apartments in your target area by consulting free online real estate databases. Here's Zillow. You can find info here. It's a good starting point for God damn it! Don't expose my ass. Oh shit! Someone's gonna find out my old channel. Looking at that fucking profile picture, I felt. Ah, fuck. Oh shit. Well, I might have to. I don't know. Could I blur that shit out? I don't know how noticeable it is, but I just had my old YouTube channel profile picture popped out, bro. Whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it. Okay. Don't dox me, please. Don't dox. Please don't dox me. Please don't dox me, bro. Please. Okay. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Wait, now I'm gonna have my fucking old YouTube channel leaked. Anyway, Zillow is a good starting point for finding vacancies, and as a first step for contacting rental managers. There's also Trulia. Oh shit, Trulia. And this is Realtor. Goddamn, stop popping that shit up, bro. Making me uncomfortable. Man, I can't with myself, bro. I should have fucking searched this shit up on the incognito mode, bro. I'm dumb, bro. I'm so fucking dumb, dude. Why the fuck did I search this up on the fucking non-incognito, bro? Anyway, guys, please don't dox me, bro. Please don't dox me. Please. Wait. Oh shit, I'm lagging. Okay, I'm back. I hope I remember to edit that out. Cause I exposed my location in my last video, and now I exposed my previous YouTube channel. Like, it's not chill, bro. Let me just write myself a note to edit that out. Okay. Like any online database, their information may be out of date. Still, this is a useful place to start investigating. Perhaps it is most useful for helping you to see what the average rent looks like in your target area. So this is Numbeo, and it's a good place to start to see how expensive it is to live in an area. This is a crowdsourced database, so the numbers may be a bit off, but still they should get you into the ballpark. Again, it's a good place to start. There's also, this is apartment ratings to find out what other people think of the apartment complex you are considering. You can also check out websites like Yelp. Yelp spells like this, Y-E-L-P, like that. Okay? Be aware that the content is user generated, and that people usually don't generate content when they are happy. They do it when they are pissed off. So read these complaints carefully to determine if they are either faked or if the complainer is merely being unreasonable. You can also check it out in person. It's always in your best interest to check out a potential apartment in person. This can be difficult if you are moving from another city, but if you can swing it, do so. The best time to check out an apartment complex is when people are coming home from work. This will let you see what people look like, and it will allow you to speak with them. Introduce yourself to someone and tell them you are interested in renting there. Could they please give you some advice? People love giving advice. Ask them how long they have lived there and if they liked it there. Ask about their place. How big is it? What are they paying for rent? What do they think rents are like here? Is it too expensive for the area? Too cheap? What do they hate about living there? How easy it is to get to places of interest? What's crime like? Do they know if their neighbors have experienced any crime, include auto break-ins? Do they have a problem with bugs? If so, did the apartment take care of it? Or are they setting out the bug poison? What's it like after dark? Is it lit up? Is it too dark? Does it feel unsafe? Apartment rental. When you sign the contract, the manager will want to be paid. Very few managers will accept cash as more than an emergency temporary measure. This is because the person you see in front of you as you sign your contract is probably the person who does the nightly deposit. Like you, this person wants to remain safe. Handing over a deposit bag full of checks to a mugger costs nothing to everyone involved. Having a deposit bag full of cash is also dangerous, especially if the tenants know this. Plan to pay your rent with checks always. You can do this automatically if your checking account supports online bill payments. Most banks and credit unions allow you to set up automated service that sends out a paper check to your apartment manager once a month. Banks may charge for this service. Credit unions often do it for free. If you are not in a situation where you can automatically pay your rent, then you can either purchase a cashier's check or money order. Keep the receipts for either at least 6 months in case the payment is lost and you need to cancel or reissue the check. Also, ask for and keep your receipts when paying in person. Your financial institution will keep copies of your canceled checks, but a physical receipt from the apartment is how you would demonstrate payment in person. Keep these receipts for as long as you live in this apartment. This will protect you from any drama during moving out. Last, you can also pay with personal checks. However, be aware that the apartment may not deposit a check until it is convenient for them. This may lead to balance discrepancies with your bank. This may be fine for you if you are diligent in keeping up with your cash register and your bank balance. Tip: get a checkbook register app for your smartphone. They even exist for joint accounts, so that each person on the joint account can see what the bank balance is. A lease is a contracted agreement to rent for a specific amount of time. Often leases are for 6 months, a year, or 2 years. These may also be called rental agreements, but if the contract states a specific length of time, it is technically a lease. Rent is the agreed amount paid under the lease. Ask the apartment manager for a blank copy of their standard rental agreement or lease, so that you can look it over. They should be happy to give you a copy. If they are not, be suspicious. Ask the apartment manager for Google apartment lease contract to get an idea of what these contracts look like. Compare your Google results to the blank contract the apartment gave you. Ask what the specific term for the lease is. Usually, this is 1 year. The rent amount specified in the lease agreement cannot be changed until the lease is over, unless there is any language in the lease that specifies how the rental amounts may change. Look for this language. The lease will probably include language that upon termination of the lease, the agreement will convert to a month-to-month tenancy, which means that the local and state tenant laws will apply to your continued occupation. These laws will force apartments to give a tenant a certain amount of notice before eviction. Google tenant rights for the state you are in. During a month-to-month tenancy, the apartment complex may decide to raise your rental rates. Again, they must follow the local and state laws when they do this. But the rate increases may happen fairly often and may increase a lot, especially if they are tracking the economy. You can ask to sign a new lease agreement to lock in your rates if you wish. Some apartments will welcome this, and others may not. It depends on the economy. The downside to signing a lease is that you are also locked into a promise to pay. Depending on the local and state laws, moving out of your apartment may leave you on the hook to pay the rest of the lease on your apartment. Tenant laws in some states may limit this to a couple of months. You could be on the hook to find a replacement tenant that is suitable to the apartment manager. Tip: you can change any contract to suit yourself. This is done between you and the apartment owner or their designated agent, the apartment manager. I'll drink a water, be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. What was I saying? Or their designated agent, the apartment manager. Anyone acting as an agent of the owner has the right to sign the contract in the owner's stead, and they also have the right to agree to changes to the contract. In short, if you can get them to agree to initial the changes you've made in the contract, then those changes apply. You can use this to cross out irrelevant blocks of text, add paragraphs, and change the rules. So if you change the contract, make sure to get a signed copy of this contract and keep it in a safe place forever. Okay, apartments, dirty tricks. Apartment owners don't enjoy spending money. Most will acknowledge necessary fair expenses, but some will try to avoid any expense. Apartment managers are like people, unlike any people. They are subject to laziness, boredom, and drama. You may be renting from a professional or from a narcissist. Here are some things to look out for. Excessive entry. A standard lease agreement will usually allow an owner or their agent, apartment manager, to enter, inspect, or repair the premises at any time during any sort of emergency. It may also state that they can enter for any reason as long as they give a 24-hour notice first. The owner could even show prospective renters your apartment as an example of what their apartments look like. This would be their reasoning for entering. State tenant laws usually require the manager or owner give advance notice, usually 24 hours, before entering a property. Check out the tenant rights for your state to see what is lawful. While they are in your apartment, the person with the key, manager, maintenance guy, whoever, could potentially look through everything you own. They can come into your apartment for a monthly fire alarm inspection or water heater inspection, or to replace the heating/cooling filters. And when they get back to their office, they can write a warning letter to you for any supposed violation of the lease agreement. For example, you could have charged with keeping a messy home, or smoking on the premises, or having drug or whatever drama they like. They will keep a copy of this and use this as eviction evidence if they feel the need to evict you. The manager has the keys to your apartment. They or anyone with access to the keys could enter at any time they feel like it. This gives unscrupulous managers the idea that they have the right to snoop on you or even steal your things. Here are some things you could do about this. 1. Have another method of locking your doors while you are home. Put a broomstick cut to length on the track of your sliding glass door. Add an additional deadbolt to your door and use it when you are at home. Have a way to know when your apartment is entered. When you are at home or away, you can get an inexpensive window alarm. But when you are at home, you can use a camera to monitor your premises while you are away. If you have a spare smartphone, you can download a surveillance app for it. Move out inspections. I'm gonna go drink some water. Actually, now I'm good. During the move-in, the manager breezed through the apartment, all sunshine and light, and maybe they handed you a move-in inspection sheet, where you were supposed to handwrite all the problems you found in a few cramped lines. During move-out, this paper may have gone missing. Maybe you didn't complete it, and most certainly you didn't write down everything they have found. If you dispute their findings and refuse to pay what they demand, they will take you to a small claims court. If the judge is fair, he or she will probably give them half of what they are demanding, so it makes sense for the apartment owner to demand as much as possible if they go this route. Yes, there are such a thing as normal wear and tear. You can Google tenants' rights to see what this might entail in your state. However, unless the evidence is very clear, most judges will just split the difference. To combat a malicious move-out inspection, you must do a stellar move-in inspection. I'm going to drink some water now. My throat doesn't feel good. Okay, I'm back. Schedule a time for a move-in inspection with the manager. Then audio/video record the inspection with the manager if they allow it. If not, then photograph everything you find. Make sure you have photographs of the manager doing the inspection too. Make sure the photograph metadata is correctly date/time stamped and stamped on the image itself. After official inspection, create your own written reports of the discrepancies found during the move-in inspection. You can Google move-in inspection firms to see some examples of what you should be looking for, but the format can be your own. Make sure that you label each page with a title and the page number. Page X of Y format. When you give this to the manager, you should both sign and date it, and you should get the signed original. Keep the paper. What to look for during a move-in inspection. 1 second. Drinking water. Realize I literally just took one sip. Okay, what to look for during a move-in inspection. You should look for mold and rust in the bathroom and kitchen. Chips in the enamel. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Of all the sinks and bathtub. Moldy or corrupted grouts around the sinks and bathtubs and toilets. Cracks in the toilet. Loose toilet seat. Stained, crack or discolored toilet seat. Discolored carpeting. Carpeting that is unraveling everywhere. Carpet wear near entryways or hallways. Countertop scratches in the kitchen and bathrooms. Run your hands over the counters, and if you feel a scratch, even if you can't see one, write that down. signs of discoloration or any sort of water/steam damage to the undersides of the kitchen cabinets. This could also be due to the location of a coffee pot or rice cooker. Water damage to the areas under the sinks and cabinets, scratches or scuffs in the linoleum. Get a blacklight urine detector and go over everything. Write down everything you find using this tool, especially the carpets, although the walls may also be instructive too. And let me show you what I mean. So get one of these. Fuck. I literally talked for 1 hour and 15 minutes straight. Oh my goodness. Use a white glove inspection. Look for dust and dirt and mouse droppings on tops of doors, door and window lintels, built-in shelves, tops of cabinets, and built-in behind drawers and inside cabinets. Make sure everything in the apartment works and is in good repair. This includes light switches, outlets, phone jacks, faucets, drains, doors, everything. Write down anything that is iffy, for example, sliding glass door sticks when opening, something like that. Why are we being so nitpicky? Because after you have moved out and turned in your keys is when the apartment manager may try to replace the entire cabinet or carpet pad on your dime. They may determine that the stain on the carpet is where your dog peed on it, completely ruining the carpet and requiring the underlying concrete floor to be sealed with a special epoxy coating to make it habitable, quote unquote. Don't laugh. But, the best way to do a move-in inspection is to take a whole day and go through the apartment as if you were a vindicative, narcissistic drill sergeant. Write down everything you find, photograph it, and have the manager sign off on your inspection. Please note, the manager will often try to fix things. If they fix something, they may include a letter explaining that they fixed an item. You should be required to sign each letter like this. If you do, keep these with your inspection reports. If the letter says it's fixed and the fix is not satisfactory, you should document this and have management sign on your response. Keep a copy of your response. Yes, it seems like this makes things a bit tense. And maybe you can trust the management, maybe you cannot. You should ask the question if you can afford to trust the management to the tune of $2,000 to $4,000 of move-out expenses. Apartment drama. Apartment manager is a narcissist's dream job. It is so easy to stir up drama or become involved in other people's drama. Your best bet is to avoid this sort of drama, to keep quiet during quiet hours and minimize your interaction with the manager. Look for triangulation from other possibly narcissistic tenants. Don't have a dog that barks when you are gone. Make sure you park only in your assigned spot. Document anything that impacts you negatively. Sign and date it, and keep it even if you are not planning to show anyone else. I suggest getting a simple college composition book to keep a journal of incidents in, or just write it in your personal journal. Keeping a journal can be very useful. I recommend it to everyone. Digital or paper and pen, whatever works for you. Theft. Apartments are great places for thieves. People leave their bikes walk to a spot or in the apartment backyard. They may leave the car windows down. They put things out on their back patio just for a minute. It only takes a moment for someone to jump over a fence and hitch to your bike to break a car window and take a package. Busy apartments make it easy for someone to wander in, looking as if they lived there, and Other tenants may be casing you. Be aware of this potential theft at all times. Post a sign in the window leading to your back patio. This property is under video surveillance. Get renter's insurance. It's cheap and can often be added as a rider to your auto insurance. It shouldn't cost more than an extra a month, and it may replace the stolen bicycle, even if it's stolen from your place of work. Buy a decent, fireproof safe and keep important documents in it. Purchase a safe deposit box at the bank for irreplaceable items. They're also cheap, often less than $60 a year for credit unions. Oh shit! What the fuck? Damn, I talked for way too long, bro. My throat feels so uncomfortable right now. But I gotta finish this video, so I'm just gonna be like. So there are hidden safes you can use for the things that must stay in your house. And now I will head off because my throat feels like shit. And the video ends now. Bye guys. Have a nice day and stay safe out there. That's it.